Hello, hello. Welcome, guys, to the AA meeting. It's me, Allie Burns, here with Steve Cofield and Detroit Lenny. What's happening, Lenny Winston?
What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm stoked you can be here. So for any of our viewers who don't already know you, you and I go back. We like to bet on sports, and we like to talk about it all the time. So that's how you and I know each other. How are things going with you?
Oh, it's good. Good. It's a Tuesday in Vegas. So there's that. I'm excited to be here. I'm a little camera shy. The camera does not add 10 pounds. I'm really just this big. So to all the people looking at me going, God, that's a big guy from Detroit. Yes, it is.
Truth. That's a true story there.
True story.
So one of my favorite things that the two of us talk about is our kids. And we both always have these really random kid stories. And it brought up a good chat. We can give it to the commenters. Should we be teaching our kids how to bet on sports? During the Kentucky Derby, I gave my kid a couple bets to make. I know you gave your kids a couple bets to make. And yeah. Sports betting used to be a really taboo thing, but now this is a whole industry where, shouldn't we get them started early? Do you think are we doing something wrong here?
I mean, it's math. I got a fifth grader trying to learn fractions and decimals and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, let me show you today's sheet on the MLB. So the horses, the app, the $2 bet or whatever, I gave them each $2. And by race time, everybody was asking me for change for a 10. My daughter was like, wait, I can bet on more than one horse? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I tried to break down a trifecta with her, and don't do that with a fifth grader. But she did. She's like, oh, I can bet on more than one horse. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, do you have change for a 10? And I'm like, no, you got to bet on 5 horses now, or put it all on one horse. I don't know what to tell you. So she didn't win. Her name is Charlie, and she bet on Hot Rod Charlie, obviously. And that didn't go over well.
Yeah, I was on Hot Rod Charlie too. And then so have you heard about Bob Baffert? This whole Bob Baffert thing is huge right now. I mean, I think that might have been the only horse I didn't bet on. Might have been Medina Spirit.
Yeah, 100%. I think I bet on 12 horses in different combos, and I didn't have that horse on anything.
I did not either, of all things.
And I will only admit to that here, but whatever. But no, I guess it's some kind of cream or lotion he puts on his horse now or something, and it has very small hints of steroids. And so now but he says the horse is still racing in the Preakness. So
that's not what I've heard. So
that's what I heard earlier today, but then I heard people are distancing themselves from him, so
probably not a bad idea.
No.
So our friend Brady here is in the chat. Brady is a regular. We're going to see him every Tuesday, but he wants to ask the question. We bring Lenny to settle the real Detroit debate, Lafayette Coney or American Coney. So you're here. What do we got?
So we could go 2 different ways here. In Vegas, we only have American Coney. But if I'm home, I'm going to Lafayette. They're right next. They're not much. I mean, they're right next door to each other. Literally have a common wall between them. They're probably the size of some bathrooms in homes. I mean, they're not big places. Hole in the wall, chili dog. I think that something to do with the casing, or some use red onion or white onion. I don't know. I can't cook. They're delicious.
What's this about pouring milk above your head?
That I don't know, but I'm not pouring milk on my head.
All right, Brady. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know about the pour milk. I mean, is that a new sell? I mean, Lafayette's a good Coney. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not pouring milk over my head to get one.
I can't get behind this cinnamon chili cheese dog that Cincinnati is into, that whole cinnamon chili. I don't get that. Have you had that?
No. And I'm not big on cinnamon anyway. So there's that. But I'm not really. I'm probably the healthiest fat kid you'll ever meet because I'm not real big into sweets. I'm not I like my chocolate chip cookie. Don't get me wrong, but that's about it. I like a good Reese cup, cold. They have to be cold. To be clear. But the Coney thing is great. But I would throw a mix in for Brady and say National Coney Island. I know, curveball. It's not. They're not known for their Coney, surprisingly. But if you get a Hani, they call it a Hani, a National Coney Island, which is basically a fluffy, almost pita bread looking type consistently thing with like chicken and cheese and lettuce and mayo and tomato chopped up, and it's like goodness. Like I went home 2 years ago to Detroit for a family reunion a couple of years ago, and I was there for 8 days, and I ate National Coney Island, 10 of them.
Holy cow!
Like I like me some National. Like you can't get a Hani anywhere. Something in the water there, that Flint water.
That old Flint water.
Yeah.
As advertised.
Good stuff.
Oh, that's too funny. So one food debate, and I'm sure that the chat can help us out with this one as well. I got into an argument over this the other night with one of my friends. It was actually last week, and then I saw him again last night. The pineapple on the pizza debate. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, pizza is your canvas. Put on your pizza whatever you want on your pizza. But this dude is solid. You do not put pineapple on pizza. Is it that big of a deal?
Yeah, it's not pizza. You have to figure out another name. This is, by the way, I believe, and I'm going to get beat up here for saying this, but it's a chick thing. Okay, I believe that. You don't do that.
I thought it was a Hawaiian thing.
I don't know, whatever, but every chick I ever knew wants Hawaiian on her pizza, and it's disgusting. My wife gets it. My sister gets it. Or they get these white pizzas, and there's barbecue chicken. Like, barbecue chicken is not supposed to be on pizza, and I love both. Pineapple, not supposed to be on pizza, and I like a good pineapple with some rum, stuff like that. But I don't get it on my pizza. It's not supposed to be warm. Pineapple, I don't know. I'm a heavy no. I'm a meat lovers pizza all day. Meat lovers, you could throw some shrooms in there. If they're magical, great. If not, whatever. But
bonus.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that though. Yeah, no. There'll be no pineapple on this pizza. It's a debate in my house. Me and my wife argue about it.
But that's just it. Like, why can't people just put what they want on their pizza? Like, why is that?
You can.
Chat, what do you think, chat? Like, I don't know. I like pine nuts on my pizza. Is that a bad thing? Like, I had no idea buffalo chicken was on this list.
Well, I like buffalo chicken. Like, who doesn't like a wings? I'm a fat guy. Of course, I will tear up some wings, right? And yeah, but no, pineapple and pizza, that's just wrong.
Caulfield, what do you think? Am I crazy?
I can eat it, but I wouldn't order it. It's not my cup of tea.
I agree
with Lenny. I'm more of a traditionalist.
Yeah.
I would never order it on my pizza, but if it was there, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, you can't do this. This is, mutiny." Like, I don't know. I didn't realize it was that strong of a way that people feel about this.
Well, people get very I was going to say people get very territorial about their food. Very territorial.
Yes,
that's true. That is true.
My wife gets it. Like, the argument is she going to get 2 of them because she wants to take one to work tomorrow for whatever, and it's not necessary. Pineapple on the pizza. It's obviously not a deal breaker. We're still married. But I'm not, when she looks at me and says, order the pizza, I'm not ordering that.
It's a personal
can't
line.
Do it.
I will not cross it.
No, I can't do it. Like, it's blocked on the Papa John's app if I could figure out how to do that.
Where does she? Oh, she gets from Papa John's.
Yeah, she likes it there. We also like Marco's too. But I like the meat lovers from Marco's.
Not down with Papa John's, but I can deal with Marco's.
Yeah.
Brady's trying to come in and start shit now.
Well, it's a question.
No, that's an untrue statement, Brady.
I totally disagree, Brady. Detroit pizza is fucking awesome.
I don't know if I've had Detroit pizza. What makes it Detroit pizza?
Again, goodness. But besides that, it's just it's thick. It's more of a thicker crust. Like think of a Chicago deep dish, but better.
But not. Deep dish. Like, deep dish is way too cakey. This is essentially it's a Sicilian. The crust is super buttered on the outside. It's cooked in a kind of a small deep dish pan. It is awesome. Northside Nathan's is good in town, and Pizza Rock does a pretty good Detroit pizza. It is really, really good. Very underrated pizza, like underexposed pizza. But if you ever watch any sort of documentary on pizza, Detroit pizza is up there with any other city in the country. Really good.
This is on I have worked at several pizzerias. I consider myself a pizza connoisseur. I have to retract that title now because I've not had Detroit pizza and I want some. So
think of Naked City, but a little bit thicker, and it's in a small pan, so the crust is kind of hard on the sides, and like I said, there's like a real buttery taste to it. It's really good. But I'm also there are a lot of people who don't like thick pizza at all, but I kind of grew up on Sicilian. So Detroit pizza for me is awesome. And Brady's like, it wasn't a statement. It was a question. Okay.
I felt I'm standing up for you, Brady.
If I have to fold my pizza, I don't look at it as true traditional what I grew up on pizza.
See, I'm a pizza folder. Like I like the big slice, and I like to take like my oil and vinegar salad and put my salad on my pizza and then fold it, and I call it pizza salad. Don't look down that way. It's delicious.
Who does that? Why? Why? How? Serious? I love you to death. You know this, but like, how high were you when you thought pine nuts on a pizza?
But pine nuts
the way to go
is fantastic. Like they toast and the oil comes out of them, and it's like this nice, soft, like crunch to it's pinoles, man. They're delicious. Try it. I can a little understand pineapple because like I enjoy that the pineapple offers this kind of sweetness to an otherwise like salty, greasy. It's like on your palate, it works. Mm-hmm. Pine nuts is a whole different thing. See, Truth from Duluth knows. And the truth that we're done here. Try it. Because
spinach, feta, and pine nut pizza is what comes when you look up pine nut pizza.
Mm-hmm. What's California?
I can get down with the spinach, but the pine nuts.
They do pear and gorgonzola. I'm so pale today. They do pear and gorgonzola pizza, which is not bad at all. You ever had pear on your pizza? Nothing wrong happening there.
I'm almost 48 years old, and I don't know if I've ever eaten a pear. So there's some breaking news right there. Now that I think about it, I mean, I'm sure somewhere along the line, my mother. I don't know. It was somewhere along the line. I'm sure my mother forced me to eat some kind of pear, but yeah, no.
See, Gil knows what's up. You know what's good. Gil always gets me. Me and Gil are like this. I think we might be best friends, Gil.
Can you get pine nut pizza anywhere here in town?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. It would have to be like at Rocco's New York Italian Deli. We made our own pinoles, like those cookies, the Italian cookies. Pinole is Italian for pine nut. So like if you ordered it at a place that already is making cookies and has pine nuts available, then yes. Because Rocco's New York Italian Deli would do it. It's pear season.
It's pear season, yeah. We're in luck.
Excellent. I love a good pear.
Next time we go to the farmer's market, I'm going to have a pear.
They're better for women than they are for men. There's one thing
I'm not having a pear.
One thing I picked up along the way is like fruits and vegetables that are shaped like women's bodies, like pears and eggplants and stuff like that, are good for women to eat.
Well, I did not know.
Just saying, just throwing that out there. Yeah.
Now I know.
Now you know. So we got some like kind of breaking news in baseball today. Let's shift gears. We're going to go into sports. Ready?
I thought we were talking about my pear, not eating a pear ever again. I still with the breaking news.
Breaking news. No. So we might be getting. Did you hear what was going on with the Oakland Athletics?
I'm so excited, and I'm a Tiger fan. Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm a true and blue Tigers. Like, it's ride or die, whatever. But I'm excited for sports because I remember when I moved here 12 years ago, there was no major sports teams. And when the Knights came and all my friends were like, oh man, this Knights gonna be great. And I was still out there like Red Wings, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, go Knights, because Red Wings suck, whatever. But I mean, I'm still a true Red Wing fan, don't get me wrong. But it's fun because when I lived back home in Detroit, you can always watch a game. It was on local TV and stuff like that. And now I got my 8-year-old running around going, go Knights. It's fun to see. It's fun for the kids. I love the major league teams coming here. I would love a baseball team to come here.
I think our city would love it too. I know that the Aviators games have been sold out, and I get that we're not at capacity, but the whole first season I worked there, we were sold out every single day before COVID, and I was talking to Jim and he said, yeah, same thing. Sold out. Capacity is about to increase. They don't expect any difference there. And the A's are such a fun organization too. They're kind of that like redheaded stepchild of California baseball. And let's give them a home. Like, come on, A's. Let's do this.
100% okay with that. I can get behind that all day. Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially if my Tigers come. I see my Tigers, it'd be great. But, I mean, if you'd have asked me 5-10 years ago, which major team, whatever, I would have said the NBA was coming first. I would have said that. And now they might come last. I mean, I don't know if we're still going to count the Raiders as NFL, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would love for Oakland to come here. And I mean, where would they play? That's my question. Is where else are they going to build a stadium that's somewhat strip, friendly and all that? John says the MLB is not coming here for sure.
Well, John, I'm going to need your source on that because I'm a believer. All right, I'm not going to stop believing.
Well, let me throw the other cities that are potentially in the mix.
Okay,
and you can grade them. First,
grade them? Oh, I get to judge things. Okay.
First, Portland. What do you think of Portland as a baseball city? I knew you would like Portland. No,
I don't. And not as a baseball city.
Why not?
I mean,
well, if anything, Seattle should get it first.
Seattle has a team, so
yeah. They called the Mariners. They almost beat the Dodgers tonight.
Sorry, that was totally my bad. I was in the NBA there.
Yeah.
So Portland,
why not
like it as a baseball? Well, it rains all the time. It snows all the time. It's just crap weather. It'd have to be indoor baseball for sure. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. How's that? Baseball's a summer sport, so maybe that we have that going for Portland.
Yeah, I'm iffy on that. I mean, I think with the Mariners and them, is that market big enough for 2 major league teams? That would be my concern if they went there.
That's a good goal.
Nashville.
Oh, they'll probably win. I don't know. I could like that.
I don't know.
Are we doing thumbs? Because I could get behind that.
I think Nashville's one of our toughest competition.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, like the Titans are big there. I mean, the NFL. Yeah. I mean, I could see that.
They've got their hockey, right? They're the Predators.
Yep. Yeah. They're not getting an NBA team, so this could be their third and final major league team.
I like. Yeah, they're probably out of the list I saw earlier, probably the best. The biggest competition, like you said.
Right.
Brady said population is light in Portland, or light for Portland. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. I would with Portland. I think they would honestly. I think AAA baseball would go perfect in Portland because it's kind of that quirky, hipster kind of minor league baseball vibe. Is just like living in Portland, and I mean that in a nice way. But I don't see it for major league. The
other thing you got to consider is which states and cities are going to be willing to put up a shit ton of money to build a stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know that Portland would, but I have a feeling Nashville would.
Yeah, I have a feeling Nashville will put up a ton of money. Vegas has got different kind of money though. Deeper pockets. That would be our saving grace. It would be the money.
So
do you think that we would publicly fund a baseball stadium? We did it with the Raiders. We didn't do it with the Knights.
I think in the long run, it's going to work out better for the Knights than it will the Raiders. You know, I just think people have a bad taste in their mouth about the Raiders moving cities and this and that. I love the Raiders here. Look, I talk shit on the Raiders, but realistically, I've always called them the West Coast Lions. I mean, you know what I mean? I like the Raiders. I like watching them. I like watching them shoot themselves in the foot, all that stuff, just like Lions. You know what I mean? So I think baseball, though, could thrive here in the right area.
I agree.
Montreal.
No.
None of my business. Well, so Montreal gets a team, but where are they going to play? Like Toronto's in Florida right now, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I assume a couple of years from now when the A's move that, I think everything should be over and back to normal with COVID. But you're right. There's some restrictions there. Charlotte, North Carolina, another candidate.
I didn't hear about North Carolina. I like that.
It's a growing city, a lot like Vegas in terms of the growth.
Yeah.
Has been exploding for about 25 years.
I could see North Crackalaca getting in there.
Right?
I like that. Can we just always call North Carolina North Crackalaca from now on?
Absolutely.
Can we get that changed on like state maps?
North Crackalaca.
I also think really good competition would be Austin, Texas.
Austin is another, I think they have a great minor league team there, city.
I mean,
doesn't Austin that like hipster vibe?
Doesn't Texas have enough though? I mean,
Texas does. I think California has
5 teams of every franchise.
Yeah, but they all suck. Like, who do we got? We got the Rockets.
So we're going to put Oakland and Houston, and they're going to thrive.
Round Rock Express, my friend who I went to high school with, Ben Rosenthal, is their pitching coach. Green Valley High School. But yeah, I saw the Round Rock on my birthday, actually, 2 years ago.
Interesting. Houston, I don't know about that. I see the Nashville, Vegas coming down to those two. But maybe I'm just hopeful to have a team here.
I know. I'm always so optimistic about things.
Another one is Mexico City.
Well,
they have the population.
Definitely.
Mexico does have a passion for baseball.
Definitely. I don't hate that. I kind of let that sink in a little bit for me, but I don't hate that.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah.
If I think it would come down to money. I mean, paying in pesos or dollars or what we paying, I don't know.
That's a good
and I don't, I don't know Mexico City's financials, so to speak, but I would imagine Vegas has deeper pockets, but the people I could see getting around it more in Mexico City than here.
Yeah, I could see Mexico City like rallying. I mean, like the whole Dominican, following that we have from the Morning Wood show. I mean, that's a lot of baseball love. That's like deep baseball love going on. So I kind of like that. The Mexico City cartel.
I like Brady, the Mexico City cartel, the Cartel Cowboys. That's what they should be called right there.
I love that.
That's the logo. You're welcome, Mexico City. It's done. There's just a cowboy with an old Marlboro sticking out of his mouth, like the Marlboro Man or something like that. And that's their logo. They're the Cartel Cowboys.
I like that. Oh, funny.
Yeah.
The Cocaine Cowboys.
That's it. I like it.
Stuff. My goodness.
All right, where would you want a stadium here in Vegas? There's lots of options.
Towards the M. That's where that's where I would say. I mean, personally, I'd like to see it in Centennial, where it's 5 minutes from my house. But
right. Could I get it in Green Valley? That'd be super.
Yeah, I mean, we could tear down the Santa Fe. I could walk to that, and we can just put it right there. I'm good with that. But I think that way.
Let's make this deal. When the Centennial Bowl is done, then you can consider putting baseball up there, which will be when 2050.
Not my lifetime.
It's unreal.
I hope my 8-year-old gets to drive it in his lifetime and it be completed. But yeah, that's never going to happen.
So I'll give you some stadium ideas, right? So Henderson, off of the 215, I think to the east, there's some room there by Sunset Station. You could try to build something down by Water Street. You could try to build something by the M/the Raiders facility. So that's all the Henderson locations. Vegas, you could do 2 or 3 different locations on the Strip or around the Strip. You could do Wild Wild West at Trop and 15. That would be right across. You could have a walking bridge from T-Mobile over to the baseball stadium. You could do a baseball stadium at the Rio, which people have talked about. You could also do a baseball stadium at the old Wet and Wild site, which a former UNLV Rebel has been holding on to that site and trying to get an arena built there forever. So that's another option. Then there's downtown. Cashman is looking for a tenant. So that's 5 or 6 sites right there.
I forgot about Cashman.
So we got options. That's what you're telling me. We got options here.
Yeah.
Where would you want to go? What's the best spot? Oh, and let me throw one more in there. There are rumors that, there's a property up for sale, and who just mentioned it? Chasen. There is a good piece of property, giant piece of property, basically at Warm Springs and LV Boulevard, across from the Outlet Mall. There's a big condo tower there just to the south on Blue Diamond and Outlet Boulevard. That would be another site, but again, not on the Strip. So that's the other thing. Would baseball want to come here if it's not near the Strip? I don't know.
Yeah, I can see. I like the Water Street idea in Henderson because I like that area. I like that vibe down there, even though it's forever away from my house. But I like that vibe. But I think that, what's his name that owns the Knights? He just the indoor football league. He's putting in Henderson.
Oh,
out there somewhere. So they're popping up there, but if you could somehow get the Raiders and the Knights and the A's within, say, a walking 2-block radius, how do you not do that? How is that not appealing to the MLB? Nashville don't have that.
Yeah.
Mexico City sure in hell don't have that.
I think the Wild Wild West should have gotten the Raiders Stadium to begin with, but that's an awesome site, and I think the Fertittas own so much of the land from that site than going north towards the Palms, and obviously the Palms has been sold, but there's a ton of property there, and I just think that pedestrian bridge going across the 15 from the hockey arena over to the baseball stadium was freaking awesome. And then, like you just said, you've got Raider Stadium within walking distance of both at that point with a walking bridge.
Yeah. How is that not appealing for everybody involved? And I could see how I could see how the city would try and publicly fund that.
Yeah. Wild Wild West is such an eyesore. I feel like it's
somehow.
Like, what's there? Like cockroaches and hookers? Like, why do we need the Wild Wild West, really? Like, let's move that. Let's put baseball there. I think that's a good plan.
All right.
All right, it's agreed. That's where we're putting it.
All right.
I know Henderson was making some offers. They were trying to woo the Diamondbacks, but the interesting thing about Henderson is I think Henderson could actually put the money together rather than Clark County and unincorporated. So I think Henderson's actually competition. But if you're a Major League Baseball team and you're moving, after you see what the Raiders have and what the Knights have, but especially the Raiders right there by the Las Vegas Strip, how can anyone come here and not want to be on the Strip?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's perfect location for everything, for travel, all that. I'm done funding shit. Yeah, you and me both, Brady. But we'll probably do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I think Henderson, you bring up a great point. I think Henderson has less red tape to jump through.
It would be good for that.
As opposed to Clark County and all that. But then again, on the flip side of that coin is they just did it with the Raiders. They just, you know what I mean? So should be used to it.
Yeah. I went to a nice game last night. remember I told you guys I had tickets and I was like trying to figure out how I was not going to bring a purse to a Knights game. Well, I did my exact plan. I stuffed stuff into my pants, and then I got there, I bought a hat, and I used that bag as my purse, and that's how it worked out. But the way that they built up that walkway going into T-Mobile is just so nice, and they really have, made it easy for fans to have a super enjoyable experience. So I don't see why baseball wouldn't want to come here. We're going to be good to you. We're going to be good to you. Promise. We want you.
Yeah, can't be a huge stadium though.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think it's got to be a smaller. It's got to be a hitter's park.
Right.
Put a ball on the strip. Put a ball on the strip. Knock it out the stadium on the strip. Somehow, I don't know, but that'd be, to me, I mean, that's a marketing dream.
Yeah.
Right there on the strip, you got your neighbor is the Raiders and your other neighbor the Knights. I mean.
Would they keep the name? Would they still be the A's? I mean, they'd have to be, right? I mean, I guess they don't have to be, but they would be, right?
I don't know.
No.
I could get behind the Las Vegas Athletics.
Yeah.
The
Las Vegas Degenerates.
That's us.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Speaking of being degenerates, what was your child eating in the shower? Like what did I hear that correctly? Tell the story.
I love the kid. Let me just preface this. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. He's about to be 9 in June, Brendan. And today, like, I don't know his sister was in the shower and he had a shower, he's got school getting ready or whatever. I'm like, just go take a shower in my shower. Just don't make a mess, bro. Just don't make a mess. He's like, okay, got it. Runs in there, boom, super fast speed, as he calls it, goes in the shower, whatever. I go in there for something, and we have like a walk-in shower. So the shower curtain, if you don't pull it all the way in the floor, the water can leak, whatever, get on the rug. So I'm like, hey, and I flick the shower curtain, like to scare him, kind of like startle him. I'm like, hey, keep this thing in here. I told you not to make a mess. And as I flick the shower curtain open, the kid's got 3 Oreos in his hand and a mouth like this. And I immediately didn't see the Oreos in his hand. So I stick out my hand because I thought he was just playing in the shower and like spitting out water or something. I don't know. He's 8 and he's in the shower. God knows what he's doing. And I'm like, what do you got in your hand or in your mouth? Spit it out. And then he spit out a chewed up Oreo. And I'm like, bro, why are you eating Oreos in the shower? He's like, well, I really like Oreos. And I was like, well, I really like Oreos too, but I've never eaten an Oreo in the shower.
I've drank some beer in the shower. I can't think. I don't think I've ever.
But then I look over and he's got like he's got like 2 more Oreos on the shelf. Like next to, right, there's like a shampoo, Oreos, body wash. And I'm like, I mean, I get it. I mean, I wasn't like mad. Like I couldn't, it was so messed up. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why? Like I called his mom and I'm like, let me, whenever you start a conversation with the other parent, it's always, let me tell you what your child did. And whenever it's what your child did, it's bad. It's never, hey, your child took out the trash and I didn't even have to ask them. No, it's your child's eating a pack of Oreos in the shower, washing one hand, washing his hair, and the other one shoving Oreos down his mouth.
I don't think I've ever, Lenny, shoot us straight. Did you next shower involve you eating Oreos to see what it was? Maybe that's a good point. I mean, why aren't we all eating Oreos in the shower? This kid's onto something here.
Listen, I'm going to be 100% honest with you here, Brady. I ate one of the Oreos when I walked back to the kitchen after I took them from him. I did. And it was bad. It was like warm and wet and soggy. I'm like, why would you do this? And I looked at my sister who was in the kitchen and I'm like, why would he eat a warm Oreo? Like, what? It's like I'm questioning the kid's sanity at this point. Like I love you, bro, but who does that shit? And it was him. And I'm like, now I'm like, what else are you eating in the shower? Like because Oreo seems like it's on the far end of that line of stuff you would eat in the shower. Right. And he is he is maxing out his life at 9, almost 9. He'll be 9 in June, and his life, he's living his best life, and I couldn't be mad at him.
Yeah, that's fair.
No,
That's fair.
yeah.
He knows.
But he didn't get any dessert after dinner, just to be clear, because I told him, no, you already ate that shit in the shower.
Yeah.
You don't get anything else.
Yeah. Not at all. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Competitive eaters eat in the shower.
Oh yeah, because it's wet. I get that. Oh, that is one thing I cannot get behind is competitive eating. I'm just not there with it. Like there's too many countries where people are starving and we're deep throating freaking Nathan's hot dogs at alarming rates. There's just nothing. There's nothing good about that for me.
Right. And yes, he knows about milk because it's like a thing when we have family movie night, for dessert, we'll dip Oreos in the milk like regular red-blooded Americans do, okay? And this kid's eating Oreos in the shower. Like
a beast, like a ball.
I really didn't have anything. Like I called Mandy, my wife, told her the situation, and she just laughed and said, because she's working out of town this week, so she's out of town. So I called her and I'm like, let me tell you what your child did today, and started off like that. And then she's like, well, I don't know what to say. And then I immediately text you because I'm like, what the hell? She's like, here's my question to the chat is, am I failing as a parent or am I winning? Because it's Oreos.
Martin's got a good point. He thinks outside the box. He doesn't have to worry about cleaning up warm Oreos.
No, he's maximizing his time.
Yeah, that's true. Multitasking.
So, but no, I'm not gonna eat Oreos in the shower when I take a shower later.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that as well.
Yeah, that's a hard no for me.
Leave that to the 9-year-olds. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you said you had a beer shower. I got a buddy that does this all the time. He's always talking about how he had a beer shower. I'm like, what? I thought it was some weird shit or I don't know what. And he's like, no, I had a beer in the shower. And I'm like, first of all, why? Who does that? But apparently this is a bigger thing than I know about.
It was more like in college, like if I was getting ready to go to work and like you've got a beer, it's like more like you've cracked your beer and now you've got to take a shower and it just comes with you. Like, I don't know. I can't say I've had a beer shower in a while, but it works for me.
Yeah.
I still do beer.
By the way, yes, John, I did think that Allie would have the answer as to why he was eating Oreos in the shower. It was like him or his mother had to have, somebody's got to have an answer.
Right.
And to have
Allie needs the beer before going to work.
I
don't need a beer before. I'm not even drinking tonight. How about that? I got Sprite in my solo cup. I ate something really funny last night. I haven't felt well like all day long.
Did you get overserved last night? Is that the problem?
No, I did. You know what? It sucks because we had a really, really good time at the game, had a really good time at the office bar afterwards. And then it was like this perfect night that was just rocking and rolling along. All got kind of shit stormed, like just all went to shit in the very last hours of it. So no, I didn't get over. I was actually pretty good about my drinking. I ate too many Oreos in the shower last night, but we went to Paradise Cantina. They just did that on Bar Rescue. So we wanted to check that out. I met Jessica Campbell from the Morningwood show. She was in town. So I met up with her. It was a really good night. Nice. Like I was pretty good to go. And then, everything just went to shit. And I ended up staying up way too late and taking care of business. And
I've never had a shower beer.
Why not?
And I've don't get me wrong. I am from Detroit, and I've done some things in the shower, okay? But a beer ain't one of them. No, not that I can think of.
Huh?
There's some times that I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But no, beer shower or shower. Is it beer shower or shower beer? Because I feel like when I say beer shower, it's some kind of weird sexual thing, and I don't want to know about it, right? But shower beer sounds a little bit better. Okay, right. Very cleared it up.
Shower beer, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It's my shower beer. Yeah, I'm not taking a beer shower. I'm taking my shower beer. Yeah, that works. Okay. It is settled.
Done. No, I mean, we got a lot accomplished tonight, to be honest with you. We know where the Oakland A's are playing soon.
Done.
Yeah. We know it's called a shower beer, not a beer shower.
Yeah.
And we know Detroit-style pizzas. Goodness.
The business.
It is. Nathan's Northside Detroit Pizza has a good, it's called Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls.
It is. It's like a sausage and onion pizza thingy, whatever going on. It's really good. But
I'm going to have to check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's Detroit pizza out there and I don't know about it, well, I need to know about it. That's just how I feel about that.
It's pizza. So, but yes. But so the Knights, they lost.
They did. Yeah, I
had them on a ticket. That's why I know.
What?
I had them on a ticket. That's why I know.
I did too. That was the first bet that, I haven't made a bet since the Kentucky Derby. I'm just like kind of taking a break on betting right now. And so it was the first bet that I made. And I had texted 3 or 4 different people, which are, like the hockey people on the site. What do you like in the Knights game and whatnot? And everyone said the Knights in the over. So, of course, I bet the Knights in the over. And, of course, it was the Abs in the under, which was like par for the course. Like if everyone's on one side, your ass needs to be on the other side. So
I get to a point when I have times like that where I'm like, I'll place the bet, something very simple parlay, like Knights in the over. And then I'll leave the window and I'll get about 20, 30 feet away and I'll turn around and go, man, I should put a little bit of money on the opposite exact way. And then I start to do the math and I'm like, God, Lenny, just go home, bro. Just go home. Just go home. But yeah, like I had this theory how I was going to bet on every horse in the Kentucky Derby the exact same amount because of the odds at the end of the day. If any horse hit besides the favorite, which didn't win, I would have came out ahead. And I don't know. That didn't work, by the way.
Yeah. I remember like trying to figure out 3-way lines and like if they're all 3 plus money, why couldn't I bet on all and then you're like, oh, because everyone would do that. If that was it, they don't set it up for you that way, man. It's not not that easy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had to school a buddy of mine last night called me and he was like, hey man, I'm gonna send you $160. Can you put $5 on every NFL team to win the Super Bowl? And I'm like, what? And I had partaken in some nightly smoking, and I was like, wait, what, bro? And he's like, yeah, do the math, man. The Chiefs are the favorite, and even if they win, we win like $2,500. And I'm like, what? Like I went to Detroit public schools, but I'm like, that math, that don't work out, man. I'm like, that can't be right. Like you can't be that smart. This is exactly what I told him. and then I looked, I don't know why I even bothered to look it up, but no, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember one of my old bosses, he had moved here from Stockton, California, and he was like super into sports betting, like getting into it. He wasn't like good at it, but he was into learning about it. And he's like, well, what if we just take the Patriots every week? And I'm like, well, then this is years ago. And I'm like, well, we're going to like be betting $900 to win $100 every week. He's like, but they'll win. I'm like, it's not how you do it. Like, it's just not, they don't set it up for it like easy for us to make money.
We're not like looking at this and we're not like breaking new ground here. Like we're the two of us are not looking at the sports book and going, holy shit, for the last 50 years, nobody's figured this out.
Yep.
We're the ones. Yeah. So I'm gonna go put $5 on and that's my 401k. That's not how that shit works. I had to learn that a long time ago. To understand that I'm not the smartest guy in the room.
I thought I was pretty smart about plus money on both sides, though. Like that was,
I like that.
I felt pretty smart about that. And if I can get plus runs with my plus money, now I'm not just hedging. Now I've got 2 bets that I can win. And by the way, I can't lose any money. Boom. That's
when I don't watch the game because I know I won.
Yep.
That's what I know. I don't have to watch the game. I don't have to sweat anything out.
Nope, I'm good.
That's how I do that. But I do a lot of in-game betting.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm trying to stay away from. That's why, like, I took money out of my account. Like, I don't have any money in my William Hill right now. I don't want it. If I'm going to make a bet, I have to retrain myself. The Morning Wood show has made me such a degenerate, they're just firing away on my phone. And
there's like 100 picks on the board and you're like, I'm going to take $2 on every one of them.
On everybody.
How can I lose? You do.
Well, yeah, you do. That's just it. And then, figuring out teasers. I was doing well with teasers. And then, I say I never parlay. I've never been a parlayer. And now I got a little 2-teamer. Now I got a little 3-teamer. This guy's hot on the board. So let me follow it. And it's just not how I bet. It's not how I train myself to do this. And so
you got to stick to your own game. Like I had to teach myself to not parlay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I put a parlay in today, but it doesn't matter. It's a work in progress.
Right.
But yeah, I got to stay away from the parlays, or at least stick them to 2-3. I'm doing more lottery tickets with $2.
Yeah, 2-teamers, like, I get it with a 2-teamer that you've got 2 decent favorites and I don't want to lay a run or a puck, and a half. So I kind of get that. Yeah, that's how they get you. Now I can't pay the electric. So, for me, it's not about money. I mean, y'all know I got unemployment. Like, it is not an out of money thing for me. It's an out of my mind thing. We want to do this seriously. We have to be serious about it. But I get your 2-teamers. But when you're getting to 3,
I did really well in hockey this year. I've stayed away from hockey, NBA for the last 2-3 weeks, NBA even longer, just because until the playoffs start, I started staying away from people. But hockey, we did the whole pick and parlay. I did really well on hockey this year with some 2-teamers. Yep. I mean,
I know I followed you.
Yeah, you can you can do really well with them, but like 2 teams here and there. Baseball is a different animal, though. I mean, I watched the Dodgers tonight. I was very excited on my 2-teamer with the Tigers money line and the Mariners money line, both plus money, and on the 2-teamer, I thought, oh man, and the Tigers, I don't know whatever, they won, but whatever, they sucked at winning. They're the only team I watched them win, and I think that was terrible. Like, I looked at them winning and thought, why? Why would you even win for me? You're just giving me false hope. You hate me. I know they do, but yeah, and then the Mariners lost on the whatever. But you're right. F the Dodgers.
F the Dodgers. Yes, we're all behind you. We're all behind you on that Casey Rally Mantis.
Yeah, but I'm also on that F the Royals too. I can't get behind that Go Royals thing.
I like the Royals. One of my best
friends is a Royal. He's a Casey guy. Chiefs, Royals, whatever, and. So he's been in football heaven for the last couple of years or whatever, but he loves the Royals, but I can't get behind him. I like the powder blue.
It matched well with George Brett's eyes,
There you go. I have blue eyes, so, I'm with the Honolulu blue, as you can see behind me, but that's a different color Honolulu blue, by the way. It's not normal blue.
I did not know that.
The Lions have Honolulu blue. My front door is painted Honolulu blue.
Is it?
Yes. And when you get really drunk, it's hard to say Honolulu blue a lot. So it just comes out with Honolulu blue.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, it's Honolulu blue. I don't know. It's in my veins. I don't know. I'm just born that way.
I want to know what Duke's blue color is called.
It's called Duke blue.
Duke blue, right? Are the Dodgers the Dodgers aren't good enough to be an evil empire for me right now.
They need to win like 2 more World Series in the next 2 years, and then I'll talk about that.
I can't with them. Truth from Duluth talking about European soccer. Did you see EJ the Rainmaker on the Morning Wood show?
I did. I caught him towards the end of it though, but I like how you put the little widget thingy up there. And I played some of that because I'm a degenerate.
Yep.
That's what I do. We'll text each other at 11 o'clock at night and say, hey, Korean baseball. This guy is pitching. I can't pronounce his name. It's got like 3 letters. It's like UD, and you know, like YU and then a D, and then you text. And I didn't question at all. I just immediately put $2 on that guy.
Boop, yeah.
And that's so. Just for you people in the chat, that's the kind of relationship that we have. It doesn't matter the time or the day. If there's a $2 bet to be had, it needs to be said. Okay.
And if it's Japanese baseball at 11 p.m., you don't judge us. We're doing things over here.
Because like a year ago, I want to say fall. Actually, not a year, maybe fall, whatever. I don't know. Last summer, it was during COVID, whatever. This guy on some site or Twitter thing, I don't know what, but he, send out free picks. And this guy was hammering Korean baseball. And I wish I knew his name or whatever, but I'm telling you, like, I told my wife about it. I'm like, hey, I just put $5. And I felt kind of bad about it. I'm like, I just put $5 on a Korean baseball. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, and I'm like, should I get help? Or like, is this a problem? And she's like, it was $5. And I'm like, she's like, don't. And then she re-explains me my unit play. And then to remind me that it's okay. And then I'm like, all right. And then I won. And then so I took the $10 that I buy, because it was like even money, put that on the next night. He had a 2-team parlay, hit that. I hit like 6 days in a row and just doing the flip over bet. So that 500 made me like a couple hundred. And this guy, I wanted to send him like a gift basket. And I don't know where he is, but I was like, man, it's so great to place a bet like now and then wake up to money.
Yes.
Waking cash. Right? Waking cash.
Waking cash. I like that. I love betting on soccer for that reason. That was a good one for me. The Guru used to have a guy that was really good at soccer picks. So he would roll, we'd roll through the sports book and get down on that. And we've got a little soccer following going on Morningwood now. So hey, Wake and Cash. I like that. That should be the name of our show. Of Morning Cash. Wake and Cash. Yeah.
Wake and Cash. I like it. I got a guy that follows tennis. My wife came home from work the other day, and I had picture-in-picture on my TV, a soccer match and a tennis match. And she just looked at me, and I could see the disappointment in her face. But it wasn't really disappointment. It was more like, what the hell are you doing with it? And she hit me with the, really, Leonard?
Really, Leonard?
Yes. She used the full name, and it was, really, Leonard? Really? I thought, I heard my mother come out of my wife, and I was 10 years old, and I was watching, Cinemax After Dark or something. It was like I got caught watching soccer and tennis.
That's too funny. I went through my time with Russian table tennis. So, we all have our things, okay? Connor Mac Picks, you were asking, Morningwood. That's the show that I do over at picksandparlays.net. You can find it on YouTube. But Lenny comes on once in a while and gives us tips on betting on baseball and free picks. It's a show I do it every day, typically every day. I didn't do it today because last night told me such a freaking disaster. But search for it on Picks and Parlays. It's called Morningwood. We do last Woody standing contests, and they get to win money. And then Lenny's also been on the Total Chaos show as well. And then EJ the Rainmaker, who's an Italian soccer expert, was just on the show last Friday. We're trying to do football Fridays and have this week we have AM Plus Money is coming on. I think he's over at Covers. But yeah, so that's Morningwood. It's my show.
By the way, yeah, EJ the Rainmaker is the best username person thing. I was real creative when I made Detroit Lenny. But EJ the Rainmaker, I want to name my dog EJ, and then just when I put him out the stud, tell him to go make it rain, baby.
Well, we've talked, you've seen my stats, how my baseball stats are, and they're out of control. Before we went live on the show, he was showing me his soccer stats. And these are books and books with this tiny little handwriting. He's like, this is every soccer game that happened in 1982 in Italy. I'm like, this is, 94. I'm like,
what the weather was, how the grass was cut. He knows all. He's legit. I'll give him that. I never questioned a pick
No, yeah, no.
No.
No time for that.
No.
I might miss it if I question it. I might not get down on it.
Yeah, I'm like, why isn't this loading?
I hate when the football guy comes on your William Hill when you're trying to get in and he's like, stop. And I'm like,
yeah.
you dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Kentucky Derby was bad because he kept telling me that there was odds for me to bet on the Kentucky Derby. And I'm like, I know, I'm trying to place the bet. I don't need the pop-up. Like, it's now. The race starts in 5 minutes. I'm trying to get all my money on Hot Rod Charlie because my daughter said it's a great name, and I'm trying to hurry that up. And I got this freaking pop-up with a horse on there telling me, good news, you can bet on the Derby. But no shit.
I didn't know that. Like, I wouldn't have known that if you didn't tell me about it that morning on the show. Well, I would have known because it would keep popping into my face about it. But
it's the only horse race I bet on a year. One horse race. That's the only thing I know about. I don't know shit about horses. Yeah. I know they're majestic animals, whatever, but that's it. That's it. You ever bet on dogs? Dog racing?
In Houston, there used to be a greyhound track that we went to when I was younger. I haven't bet on it, but like I went to a greyhound racetrack. I was probably 8 or 9 years old or something. Like, definitely wasn't old enough to be there, but I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I know. I went to Florida to visit family there, whatever, a couple of years back, and we were in the Tampa area, and they have a dog track there, and I wanted to go, and it was closed that day or whatever because I feel like I need to experience to complete my degeneratism, the circle full thing, I've been to Puerto Rico and bet on a cockfight. So
that's cool.
We want to talk about a story for another time, but it was in the back of a Deja Vu strip club. So in Puerto Rico,
we got a half an hour. Tell me what's going on.
It was all bad.
We got a cockfighting story that happened in a strip club in Puerto Rico. We're going to make time. Okay.
Listen, this is before my wife, though. So if she's watching right now, I'd like to apologize ahead of time. But I went with a bunch of guys. It was like a work thing. We worked for a mortgage company or whatever. It was a company trip type thing. They put us up in this nice resort off of San Juan, and maybe 20 minutes, half hour from the actual downtown San Juan, Puerto Rico. So we're in this resort, like 10 of us, bunch of guys were like, hey, let's just rent a shuttle van. And because there's just a bunch of it, like, let's just rent one. And we paid the guy like $20 each to take us to the bars, stay with us all night, and we'd buy him drinks and then drive us back. Because we don't know where we're going. And the last thing I want to do is drive around hammered in Puerto Rico. So we go and, there's 10 guys and we're like, hey, man, take us to a strip club. Not like high-end strip club because we're from Detroit, but not like low-end. And understand we know low-end. And the guy was like, no problem. Takes us to this super high, like there was a velvet rope, 2-line. Like we didn't even get out the van. And we're like, no, bro, that's not the kind of party we're looking for. Right. So then we went to this other place. And it was a Deja Vu. And we're like, oh, Deja Vu. Like, that's a popular name. We should be fine. Like, whatever. Walk in. I'm on my mother's grave. 100% of this is true. Walk in. There's this kid. He's no more than 12. I thought I was watching, like the guy, tattoo, from the plane. They got tattoo, Fantasy Island. Kid comes running up to us. What do you guys want? He was our server. And then we're like, well, you know what? There's 10 of us again. Let's just buy a couple bottles, whatever. We're in Puerto Rico, right? Let's do the thing, right? So we're drinking, whatever. And then the guy comes back and he goes, you want girls? And we're like, well, yeah, we're a strip club, duh. So he's like, okay, you got to go in that room back there. And I'm like, what? Like, no, we don't want that kind of party. We just want like maybe a lap dance, bro. I'm not trying to, need antibiotics later.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So
in this penicillin into this.
Right. Mind you, this kid, I swear, is no more than 12. I doubt he was a teenager. Okay. And whatever. Right. And so he takes us back there. Again, there's like 10 of us. There's plastic white folding chairs that are stackable. where they're like, oh yeah, Sylvia, there's a couple girls, whatever, dancing. There's this like one little stage, and then there's this like shaded area in the back. That's like, well, you know, I'm in Puerto Rico in the back of a strip club. I'm from Detroit. I'm immediately looking for the exits. Okay. So, and then all of a sudden these lights come on. And I mean, like, you think you were at the MGM and these lights come on and the guy's like, yeah, right here after the cockfight, the girls come out. And I'm like, what? And then so this guy's like, yeah. So yes, we were betting on cockfights. And then after the girls, after the cockfights, instead of a ring girl or whatever, like at a box, they had ring girl for the cockfight. And they were bringing out birds in this cage or whatever. It was all bad. And I felt really bad afterwards because, you know, I like chicken and, you know, cockfight. I want to hurt the animals. But in a same night, by the way, I believe it was like a Thursday. So it wasn't like a Friday, Saturday in Puerto Rico. It was a Thursday, the back of a strip club. I had multiple shots, probably drank a bottle of Crown, got lap dances, and bet on a cockfight.
That is incredible.
So, like, that's bucket list shit right there. Like, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I checked that off. You know, there was a lot of other stuff that went on there, but no penicillin was needed. But it was a good time had by all. We even we talked to the guy, and this is how drunk and degenerate we were. After when we left, and like the sun was coming up, that's how late it was, and we had to work. Like, because again, it was a company trip. We tried to have like a retreat. Like, you know, we had to have like a meeting in the morning, like a kumbaya. Hey, everybody go team, you know, whatever. It was not a good idea. But on the way back, we talked this guy into stopping at a McDonald's, go through the drive-through, and we're trying to order food. And, you know, we're drunk. And there's like, yeah, give me some coffee. I like my coffee like I like my women. Dark and sweet, so put a little sugar in it, you know, and everybody's like yelling stuff like that. And of course, the lady behind the window's laughing at us, and this guy's apologizing. This poor driver's like, this shit wasn't worth the couple $100 we gave him.
Aww. Is there anything you won't bet on, Lenny? Martin wants to know.
I mean, morally, or
I mean, like, if you've got a good angle, I'm willing to listen to it.
Yeah, is it like the lefty angle in baseball, or I mean, I have yet to bucket list item that I didn't do yet. That a friend of mine talked me into going. I used to work right around the corner from the Hustler off the Strip, right? And we would go during the week for dollar beers, like after work, like whatever. And then one night they had little people midget wrestling, and it was like and they were girls, and they were supposed to be topless. And so my girl, my friend, who's a girl, my friend Stephanie, she calls me and she's like, I'm going to the Hustler today for this shit. And I'm like, it's like, again, a Tuesday, or it's like a random, it's like, who does midget wrestling topless on a Tuesday, whatever night, right?
Right.
I didn't go, and I regret it ever since. And then they did midget wrestling on St. Patty's Day, and they had like a little leprechaun guy,
leprechauns,
Mr. T guy. Yeah, it was like some weird stuff.
Oh my gosh! When my mom owned a production company, and so I actually have stories about A, cockfighting, and B, midgets, just from her. So you get booked with really random jobs. You know, like there was a time we were doing like the Sahara car dealership, and I had to get camels, you know, so like, you know, where you find camels in Las Vegas, you don't, you get them shipped in from LA, you know, so things like that. Yeah. So I got booked as the model for a photo shoot of cockfighting, and like had to wear the thing and hold the card.
That's like a job. That's an actual job.
But it was two guys dressed up like roosters. Like, it wasn't actual cockfighting. It was two dudes that were dressed up like roosters. And then Too Short, the rapper, had come in town to do, and we didn't actually end up going through with this gig. But he was doing an album launch or something, and we had to hire 8 midgets because he's Too Short. So that's what he wants. But he wanted them to like have the sombreros with the hat and the dip, and like it all felt very. And I want to say it was a money issue because midgets are expensive. If you're
not cheap,
midgets, we should say little people. But
yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I wouldn't want to offend nobody. I don't want to offend nobody, but they're fucking expensive.
Yeah, as far as like an hourly booking rate goes, like it's not cheap. Yeah, so
I tried to do the same thing. I actually put out an ad. This was years ago on Craigslist for a little person to work a holiday party for this company I worked for. We would do this holiday party. Me and the sales manager, we thought it would be funny for the holiday party to hire like 3 or 4 little people to wear security type yellow shirts and say security on the back and walk around our boss all night long, the owner of the company, as his security. Now, this dude was like 6'5", 300 pounds. So he was a big guy. And then we were going to have all the 4 little people walking around him all night as his security. And so I put an ad out and on Craigslist. And that was when me and my wife were still dating. She thought that was inappropriate. I disagreed. I thought it was easy. And we put in the disclaimer to answer. I think it was Brady said in the chat, but yeah, midget tossing. That's like a thing. Okay.
I was going to bring
Wolf of
that
Wall
up.
Street. Yeah. I mean, if you ever watch Wolf of Wall Street, they have a great scene in there where they're trying to hire the little people and they're going over disclaimers and they're like, don't call them that. Don't look them right in the eye because they get that's evil, or something like that. It's crazy scene.
Oh
don't get me wrong, but I love the little people. An older lady I live in the house that my wife grew up in, and we bought it from her father, and so she's lived here her whole life. And the lady across the street, or kind of kindergarten or whatever, a couple hours down, she's a little person. She's the nicest lady ever. But it's still hilarious every time she gets her mail.
Why? Because she gets her mail?
The mail, she's got to reach up to the mailbox.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm a 12-year-old at heart, so I still laugh.
How do they feel about being tossed? Like, do they get, like, I'm assuming it's not like some guys just walking around like picking up midgets and throwing them. Like, I feel like this is probably more organized than what I've actually got, like, thinking in my head.
Yeah. I had people actually respond to my Craigslist ad and say, no, that was a hard no on the tossing, and then I had some guys go, yeah, man, you like, is this a kind of party? Like, can I drink or whatever? I'm like, bro, it's open bar. I'm like, go ahead. And, the more liquored up you get, probably the weirder shit that could happen later. So like, whatever, but I don't know. I mean, I would love to be a professional wrestler and have midgets walk me out.
Don't act like you don't love being tossed. I don't know if I've ever been tossed. I mean,
listen, this is a family show, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Totally not. We will get banned from Twitch. Yeah, I don't. I mean, like, do they? I just have to Google this and maybe look into it a little bit more because my mind is like reeling right now with possibility. Is it a competition? Like, are they partners?
Yes.
Is it like a golfer and a caddy? And like
it's
partners?
like bowling.
Bowling.
So in Wolf of Wall Street, this is what I'm using as a reference, by the way. Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street movie. What they wanted to do was toss it, like put an Evel Knievel helmet on him and toss his ass down the hallway, preferably probably slicked of some sort, like a whatever, like a slip and slide. And then at the end, there's like pins, like bowling. It's like, yeah, but then don't Google midget tossing.
Yeah, that's maybe a good call. I can already think about what.
There's a rabbit hole. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't do it. It's not good for anybody involved. Don't go down the whole rabbit hole. Don't do it.
Texting you at like 1 a.m, like midget tossing, race 1.
Yeah, right. If that was on our William Hill app, I would have then bet on that. I don't know if there's anything that I wouldn't bet on. I bet on curling. I love curling. Little person curling. Oh, I get it. Curl with the little people.
Little people curling.
I feel like me and Brady are on the same level. And that's not, no pun intended on them. Little people. No, I'm just, no.
When did you get into curling? I didn't know you were into curling.
Oh, I love winter sports.
Really?
I'm not a big track and field guy in the Olympics, but I love winter. I even like downhill skiing. And I think the fascination of it is because I know my fat ass can never do that. So like in track and field, I can run. I can't run as fast as them, but I can run.
Right.
I could swim. I could toss some big things and pop. Maybe not the pole vault thing. Can't do that. But in winter sports, I can't do none of that shit.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Like I skated but prior to 8th grade, I played hockey. Sure, I can skate, but I can't. Curling? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that
Curling is underrated. Curling is underrated as shit. It is like great.
Curling makes like good sweepers. That's like I always like when I see people doing the curling thing. I'm like, isn't that what that is when they're doing that?
Yeah.
I always think
years ago. Remember?
I bet he sweeps. Like I bet he cleans the floor.
Remember when the Wii was popular with the Wii tennis and the Wii bowling?
Oh yeah.
So I bought my kids, my older kids when they were younger, we had the curling, and you could curl on the Wii, and it was all bad. It was I'm not made for curling, but that and cornhole. Cornhole. I love to play cornhole.
I know cornhole.
Yeah, so I've been watching all the time, because again, I'm degenerate in this. What I do all day is watch random sports. So I'm watching cornhole championships. These dudes get paid, and I'm like, to play cornhole. I'm like, I play with my 8-year-old like every freaking day. Like I'm like, I feel like I could. Now that's some shit I could accelerate at.
Right.
I could drink whiskey. I could throw cornhole.
We should start. We should totally start.
I'm 100% all about that.
I don't know.
I got a cornhole set in the back. Yeah, I love cornhole.
Yeah, pickleball. Truth from Duluth is saying pickleball's everywhere now. That's huge in Summerlin with like my rich friends. They're always like,
I got a buddy who plays it too.
Pickleball. I'm like, the fuck is a pickleball? I don't know. What is pickleball? I don't even know what that is.
I asked the same question, and it looks like mini tennis court with a big ping pong paddle.
Right.
So who invented pickleball and where the hell has this been around since? Now, I know handball is real big East Coast, but this is not handball. And I got a buddy that's like, he just went to Florida for some Florida international whatever thingy.
So
for pickleball.
It combines badminton, table tennis, and tennis.
Yeah. There we go. I'd still bet on it though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if we're trying to find the limit, pickleball is not close.
That's not it. Yeah. Do you ever bet? Well, besides the Derby, do you bet with your kids, and do you ever bet on your kids? Like, do you and Mandy ever sit around and they're like hang lines on your kids?
Yeah. Oh yeah. About 3 weeks ago, Brendan had this is our 3rd grader. He's Oreo eating shower kid. He had a tummy ache, before he had to go to school, and he's back to 100% in-person school. So yeah, I know 2 out of the 3 of them are. I still got 1 that's out, but whatever. So he's like, oh, I got tummy ache. I don't feel good. I want to stay home. Want to play hooky with you, Lenny. I want to play hooky with you. I'm like, nah. Like, you just went back to school. Like, you got to go. So Mandy, she takes him to school, whatever. She calls me on the way to work. She goes, he's not going to make it an hour. And I'm like, is that an over-under? And then, I have to explain to her what the over-under is again, because it would, So she's like, he's not. No, he'll be calling within the hour. And I took the over just because she took the under. I won that bet, by the way.
Nice.
He made it till lunch. I was impressed. I was like, man, I didn't see that coming. That was like plus 400. There's no way that was happening. Right. But yeah, we do that all the time with chores. Like if we have 3 large dogs, horses I call them, whatever. But when big dog, big poop. That's what our vet said. Hey, you got big dog, big poop, right? Well, they got to pick up dog poop. And I'm always like, how many piles? I said this with my sister. My sister lives with us. And my she's always outside or whatever. backyard. I'm like, I set the total. How many dog piles of poop did he miss? And it's usually on a standard weekday, 2.5. That's a solid line. That's like
Right.
7.5 in MLB over under.
Right.
Okay. So and if it's on the weekend where he can go play Xbox and get outside more, that's 4 or 5 easy misses all day. And it's a constant gamble. Like we do what we call dollar bets in our house.
Right.
Dollar bets. You don't have to pay dollar bets, until you get to like 10. That's what I always tell them. But for anybody wondering, I really don't collect money from the children unless they piss me off.
I do. I'm totally like, if you are going to make a bet with me, because we bet on BattleBots, that's our thing, and he's effing good. But
me and the boys do that, yeah.
He's super good at it. But yeah, like if you're going to bet with me and you lose your bet, you need to pay your bet. So for me, it's a total learning lesson that if you don't want to pay me money, then don't bet against me. He actually wins BattleBots a lot more. But I was telling you with the Kentucky Derby that I made him give me the $4 because he wanted 2 horses. So I made him pay me, and then his horses didn't win and he was devastated. Like he really, really thought that, he was going to be walking out of that Derby with $50 in his pocket. And it did not work.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we will go as far as like, we'll bet like what I catch them doing between each other now lately. And I haven't really peeped my wife on this yet, is they bet chores with each other.
That's good.
Yeah. So like I caught like that. I'm like, okay, everybody's got a shower, got school tomorrow, shower at night before you go to bed, right? And I caught the boys in the hallway paper, rock, scissoring to see who went first. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then the next day I caught them paper, rock, scissoring to see who was going to do the dishes and who was going to pick up dog poop. And the loser had to pick up dog poop. And I was like, okay, I'm okay with that because we're still trading chores. And then the 12-year-old's like, I caught him the other day, and he's sitting on the couch watching the baseball game with me for a solid half hour. And I'm like, hey, man, don't you got chores to do? And he's like, no, Brendan lost the bet. He's got to do all my chores. And I'm like, well played, first of all. 2, go do your fucking chores. Okay. 3, stop taking advantage of your 8-year-old brother. He's got a problem with Oreos in the shower. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go do the damn chores. Like, come on, man.
Oh,
but yeah, that's my life. It's a circus at this house.
Oh, I bet it sounds like it.
Yeah. I got a 6th grader, a 5th grader, a 3rd grader, and 3 dumbass dogs.
Taking a runner fee and taxes to teach him. I'm telling you, well, he listens to me talk about it all day long. I do 3 to 4 shows on sports betting every single day in my dining room. It's not like he doesn't overhear what's happening. He doesn't go anywhere. There's no school.
Right.
So, like, I mean, if you're going to listen, then you might as well learn how to do it. I don't want to say properly, but, because it's not like I do it properly, but.
But they have to learn a value of $1.
Well, I think there's an
what I mean
too of like you make a bet, you need to pay up on your bet. If you're indebted to someone, you need to pay them back. That's kind of my thing with it. Do you bet on your kids' sporting events? I do. I used to do this with the Guru when Esh would do football or volleyball. We would always hang a line, and sometimes we'd hang like, how many times is that kid going to cry? Like totals on that.
That's what I was going to get at. Yeah, I've done that, but not like score, because I used to pre-COVID coach my boys flag football. Excuse me. So, Hunter is older. He's almost 12 and he's a beast. I mean, he's fast. He can run. And I would look over at my wife and I'd go, watch this. And then she'd go, no, he's not going to score. And we'd bet on if he scores or not. And like we'd do like a swoop. I mean, it's 5-on-5 flag football. There's not a whole lot of plays, okay? Yeah. But we'd do like a end around thing, and that kid was gone. And then one of the parents on the team caught on to what I was doing with my wife. It'd be like, I bet you $1 he scores right here. And at this age group, I had to be on the field to call the offensive plays. So I would look over to the sideline and go, 1 or 2, and she knew I was like 2. This kid's scoring now, and 1 is iffy. And she acknowledged me with where, and then this one parent he caught on, and he's like, I'm telling you right now, coach, there's no way this team scores 2 touchdowns on us. And I was like, well, and he's like, oh, I'm telling you, that's where I'm setting the line. And we would joke about that's where the line's at, And then his son came to practice one day, and he's like, coach, what's the odds of me getting the ball? And this kid, it was 10 and under. He was a little roly-poly kid. He was a great kid. He hustled. He gave his all every damn time he was on that field. But he was not athletic. And he was a big kid. So he played center, and he could snap the ball, and he could block, and he could whatever, short little 5-yard dunk and deep things he could do, whatever. But he's like, what's the chance of me catching the deep ball? That's what he said. Words were, what's the odds of me catching the deep ball? And I'm like, I'll work up a play. And I did, and he dropped it. So, and then I told him after the way, I'm like, well, the odds were good you would get the play, but the odds were terrible you were going to drop it. I don't know. Yeah. And he was like, oh, do it again, coach. Come on, man. I can do it. That's how he's like, I know. It was so bad. But Marquise was his name. He was a good kid. He still probably is a good kid. We haven't coached flag football since COVID killed everything.
Yeah. I've noticed that. Yeah, going to the Knights game, that was my first time to go to a sporting event. And, like working for UNLV, working for the Aviators, being an umpire, I used to go to a lot of freaking sporting events, and it really hadn't occurred to me. I am starving for live baseball, like starving for live baseball. I want to go to an Aviators game. I don't care. Like I need, 10 kids in a park to sort something out with a stick and a ball. Like
right. Some Sandlot shit. Yeah. All right, we're just gonna figure it out, guys.
Dying for baseball, so I can't wait. I got a guy, so I've already got some things in the works.
I was gonna say I've been to an Aviators game at the new stadium out there. I want to take the kids, but we haven't gotten around to it yet, to be honest with you.
We'll get there.
But we used to go to 51s games all the time. We would take kids probably 3-4 times a year. But yeah, and by the way, yes, we have bet Orioles. Somebody said that in the chat.
Oh, that's good, betting Oreos. I like
we
that.
We have bet Oreos and Bitcoin. I value Bitcoin quite a bit. UFC, I've bet on UFC, of course, every Saturday. Boxing,
that's
martial arts.
Oh, they were asking, is my kid get in martial arts? He starts tomorrow. And I got a killer deal at this joint. It's like $30 for 3 weeks to get them to try it. And then it goes up, but I'm super excited about martial arts. An hour a day, he can go somewhere else and do something else that will build him
off all that energy.
Yeah.
Burn off all that. Yeah.
Kind of what we were talking about, what brought it all up a few weeks ago was that me and one of my girlfriends had gone out to a park with our 2 11-year-old boys, and those 11-year-old boys couldn't figure out how to play with each other. This one wants to kick it, and this one doesn't want to catch. He wants to run, and this one, he doesn't like Frisbees. And it was like, for fuck's sake, I don't know how to be a man. I don't know how to it was like they needed a man, they needed a dude. And so I asked the chat, and the chat said, bring him to martial arts, which had crossed my mind. And so I think it's called Victory. But it's not. I say Victory, but it's not Victory. It's another one. But it's right on Desert Inn.
Me and Mandy talked about that for our 12-year-old Hunter. He just started middle school this year. So that was really hard on him to start middle school and be in the middle of COVID. So I have to distance learn with a new school and a whole new program because, whatever. But we talked, he had some, he's an asshole kid, just like his dad. Okay. So he's had some behavioral issues, whatever. You don't want to listen, whatever. So we talked about putting him in martial arts to, 1, burn off all the energy, 2, learn some kind of discipline, learn to whatever. That's why I put all my kids in sports. Even Charlie played soccer, whatever she wants to play. We don't have no problem with it because they need some kind of organization.
Yes.
Organized sports to know the value of a team concept, in my opinion. That's when, that's why we did it. But you're right. To bring up the money point, $30 for 3 weeks. Because in 3 weeks, he might not like it.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, and I blew more than $30 on a cockfight. So I don't care about $30. So.
Well, that's just it. He's always done sports also, but yeah, with COVID, my thing with him, he's not always the best team player. So I kind of want him to do something that's more of a solo sport, so he can't make excuses, and it shows him accountability that,
right.
Being a teammate is important, but so
I think that's why I like
accountability for your actions.
Because it's a team sport, but it's also individualized baseball. That's, I think, why I like it so much. I mean, people talk about the NFL and they put, I don't want to say too much emphasis on the quarterback position, but it's too much emphasis on the quarterback position. But in baseball, everybody's all about starting pitchers, and I agree with that or whatever. But one guy with one swing of the bat could change the whole freaking city. Okay, I mean, the team, everything. I mean, Kirk Gibson changed my life in the 80s. I saw him hit that. The way he hit the ball, it was like when I was a kid. I mean, I was born in 73, so when the Tigers won the series in 84, 85, I was a 12-year-old kid, whatever. My mother worked at the concession stands at a second job, so my grandfather sneaked me into a World Series game, and they played the Padres. It was great. It was like, oh my God. It's like this. I remember Tiger Stadium being the biggest place I've ever seen on earth. It was like heaven. It was a Mecca. It was like, this is it. And I remember that thinking, I had played organized sports and team this, team that, team. And I remember thinking Kirk Gibson just changed the whole outcome. And I've met Kirk Gibson. He's not all that. But he changed my life when I was like 12, 13 years old. Him, Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker. Oh, God. Baseball.
You're all riled up. I
am.
I feel like it's one of the only sports you can watch your team play while you're playing it. Like, you're basically watching baseball happen as you're playing baseball, which is, I don't know, there's just something cool about it. And how.
And I think baseball is better live.
Yeah. Oh, agreed. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I remember telling the universe, I don't
Hockey
care
as well.
I just want to work in baseball. And then, fast forward a month or so later, and I'm 6 feet off the pitcher's mound as an umpire. Like, I'm in baseball. I'm working in baseball. So I love it live. I love the smell of it. I love the sound of it. I love, I love it. I love baseball. You know that already.
Yeah, it was a little weird for me being a flag football coach because I played football hardcore in high school. Like, I love football, whatever. But it's like I felt like a high school kid again when I'm on this field and I got 5 little guys in front of me and I'm running the play and I'm telling them, okay, this is the play we're gonna do. Real complicated playbook, number 2 or number 3. We had like 10 plays. That was it. But I was on the field and I remember seeing all this happen and I was like, man, and God forbid they have a long play and I got to run my fat ass down the field, and I'm like, what the hell? But baseball, there's nothing like a Friday night baseball game or a Saturday afternoon. You know what I mean? Or skipping school on a Monday to watch to have your dad or your mom take you to the ballpark. In my case, my mom, but take me to the ballpark and get a $2 hot dog and watch a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my dad wrote life insurance for police officers in Houston. So we always had some officer who was like working his side job at the Astrodome that, there was some back door that we could kind of sneak into. He would put us in seats. Mm-hmm. So I went to tons of Astros games, and I get what you say by like, this is the biggest place I've ever been, because it really is huge and overwhelming. In a really fantastic way, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was great. Like, I'll tell you this. It's never been the same since I've seen the first baseball game.
Uh-huh.
It's never been quite the same experience walking in. But even when I talked about going back to Detroit a couple of years ago, we went to a Tiger game. And we got seats. I took Mandy to her first Major League Baseball game, and it was at Comic Park Tigers or whatever. She had a blast. Started to rain. She had to run up, or she was all freaking out or whatever. And I'm just sitting in the stands, drinking my beer and eating a hot dog in the rain. I don't give a shit. Nope. But it's the thrill of walking, and then if you go up, either way, you go up and then it's see the big field. Or if you go down closer to the field, you're like, oh my God, I might catch a ball.
Yeah.
Like it's like that. It's like I'm gonna be involved in the game. I might make Sports Center. If I, you know what I mean? Something like that, And hockey, I think, is another one. Very it's better live.
Yeah, I'm not ever.
Football is better on TV.
Like, I don't care if it's the Stanley Cup. You're not going to ever catch me watching a hockey game, but I'll go to them all day. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Football, I think, is better on TV.
How'd you feel seeing Cofield alone in the stands watching your kids play? All right, that's fair. That's a little creepy. I'm with it.
I'd probably set the line at like 30 to 40 minutes before the cops show up.
Oh, my.
That's
a good call.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you falling asleep on us?
It's been
you had a rough night in a big city?
It's been a long day. It was a long night and a long day. I'm surviving. I'm surviving here, all right?
There you go. You do you.
Cofield, Mr. Nanny. Oh, my. We tried to have Unky Steve. That didn't work
Steve?
out. Unky Steve, when I need advice on how to parent my child, I would bring it into Unky Steve.
That's fair.
Yeah, he yells. He yells at Ash.
Look at this. Yelled at my kid today. Well, not about the Orioles because I accepted that and I was okay with that. But but yeah, I yelled today for something and I'm like, what are you doing with your life? Like that's what I did. I walked away from him. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? And he just looked at me like, I'm 12. What do you mean? And I'm like, what are you doing with your life? But
I think this is my second time that I didn't pee. I don't know if you noticed them putting times into their thing. That's their over under on when I'm going to go pee. So they're betting on me. That's what that is on this show.
I'm good. I drained my blood. I'm only one Gatorade in, and there's no vodka in here. So
usually I'm 2 tall cans deep by now. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Once you break the seal, it's over.
Wrap it up for the night, Allie?
Wrapping it right on up. Yeah. Detroit Lenny, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it for real.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. And thank you guys in the chat as well.
What do you got tomorrow? What do you got tomorrow, Allie?
I've got Morning Wood at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're starting the last Woody standing. For every name that goes up onto my whiteboard with a pick attached to it, it's $1 into the prize pot to win the last Woody standing. And Picks and Parlays donates the $1. And then Total Chaos NBA is going to be on tomorrow night. You just got to like, subscribe, ring the bell at picksandparlays.net on YouTube. That's what's up. I got a lot of stuff going on, guys.
What about you, Lenny?
I don't have shit going on tomorrow, to be honest. I just thought about that as she's spitting off all this stuff that she's got to do tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I might drive past some places where the A's can play. I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I'm trying to think about what we're going to do for lunch tomorrow. If I have to take anything out of the freezer for dinner, that's where my life's at.
Well, remember, tomorrow is we're starting last Woody, but it's dogs only, plus money dogs only. So get your
pick. That's right. Just give me the Tigers.
Last Woody standing.
Just give me the Tigers against KC. Just give me the Tigers.
Oh, that's funny.